Professional victim fatigue. Holy shit. I think so many people are tired of this.
I just wish there was something I could do for you all. Like, improve public safety for disabled folks every day, you know?
Hands over a mask.
No, thank you. Anyways.
For those of you who are confused, no, this masking video is not from 2020. It was released recently, like a month ago, and you have someone who is still saying that everyone has to wear a mask for COVID, because if you
Oh my god.
don't, then you're a bad person who deserves to be shamed for wanting to live your life normally. This person actually does a lot of masking propaganda, so let's see why.
Why do you talk about masks all the time? Because the pandemic never ended. The government just...
At what point are these people not the same as doomsday preppers? Like, I mean, it's basically the same thing, isn't it?
removed emergency status and normally sacrificing our most vulnerable.
You know, it's weird how they were able to drop the emergency status and everything seems fine. It's almost like the risk of dying from COVID was heavily exaggerated and manufactured by horrendous policy decisions and the censorship of doctors with effective treatments. So this person who, by the way, works from home and doesn't have to deal with masking for an 8-hour shift is suggesting that we go back to some of the lockdown policies of a couple years ago.
I see. So they're trying to make rules for everybody else, even though they never even go, I see. I get it.
That crashed the economy, threw a bunch of people into poverty, and damaged everyone's mental health. All for a disease that's basically killing nobody these days. At some point, you have to do a cost versus benefits analysis, and if you get the short end of the stick on that, then you do what you can to protect yourself. But this whole masking 5 years after the lockdown started is not an uncommon belief.
It's very clearly a mental illness. I mean, it's literally just like hypochondria, right? People that are afraid of anything bad medically. Like there are like people that are germophobic. Like, I mean, it should be treated the exact same way. And like, there's a part of me that feels sorry for a person like that because it's very clearly a mental problem that they have.
Actually, I've seen a lot of people promoting
masks in the car. That's right.
If you guys aren't masking, I'm not going to be around you.
You should go out more.
Now, I don't want to say what they all have in common, but one thing they all have in common is they're all wearing nose rings. Isn't that crazy? It's like every single one. Holy shit, what are the odds?
It better be free. If I'm going out, it has to be free. And there needs to be barely anyone in sight.
Really?
Because, yeah, COVID and people aren't masking.
For context, both of those videos...
One of the ways that she could decrease the risk of COVID to herself is losing weight. A lot of the people that COVID killed were fat. They had comorbidities. Being overweight is a comorbidity.
...were filmed this year. Here's a whole page dedicated to masking propaganda with a comic that says,
"Oh my,
not masking is eugenics," followed by the caption,
"You're participating in eugenics multiple ways. It's not that deep. Move on. That Sydney Sweeney ad was awful. Awful. How do we get here?" So, wow.
Talking about how the creator is mad that normal people on the left don't want to wear a mask every time they go outside.
Yeah.
Are you just going to wear a mask forever? Yeah. I can only imagine the tyranny we would live under if this person got any political power. But more
luckily, they never will.
Importantly, everyone is just tired of this type of person constantly playing victim.
Exactly. I think people are generally fatigued with these weird professional victims in every single like space of life. Do you remember like that girl that was complaining about how hard it was to be a woman in Counter-Strike because she got called a stupid bitch because she threw a grenade on the floor and blew herself up? You remember that? Yeah. Well, everybody was just shitting on her, and she deserved it.
And that to either tell everybody what to do or demand.
Shouldn't have been doing it. She's trying to get their accounts banned. She's being an obnoxious Karen. That's what you get. Shouldn't be doing it.
Free shit.
Shouldn't have done it.
We're all tired of this, or fatigued, as one might say.
Oh.
Because the ones who play the victim game are always the most sociopathic, self-centered, and awful people.
Absolutely.
So no one's being fooled by this fake compassion anymore.
Well, I think also that it's why you're just oh god, it's I know this is a fucking millennial. You know this is a fucking oh Jesus. And these are all the original 150 Pokemon? Yeah. They're in their 30s, man. This is bad.
disabled people wear masks then. Some disabled
I knew it. I fucking knew it. See, there's a part of me that appreciates this because you ever notice how like animals, whenever they're removed from their natural habitat, they'll try to create a natural habitat in the area that they've been relocated to. And as you can see here, we have a very clear mental asylum patient who's tried to recreate the padded room that they should be in their natural habitat in. And I think they've done a pretty good job. They've almost done one entire side of the room.
Compromised people cannot get vaccinated or wear a mask due to medical reasons, which is why it's crucial you should if you can. Where should I mask then? Everywhere? You should mask anywhere you think disabled people deserve to exist in safety. P.S.
Nowhere. Nowhere, obviously.
That's every public place.
Yes. For the record, this person's claiming that she's disabled because she's slightly autistic. Now,
I believe her. Yeah, I think she's telling the truth. I think she's, yep.
For one, never getting sick is bad for your immune system and makes you more vulnerable. Two,
I haven't been sick since 2009. Uh-oh.
Two, being alive always carries risk, and nobody is masking every time they go outside forever in the extremely small chance they come across someone who has a compromised immune system and can't mask if they want to. Like, that's such a rare thing that realistically, I think this person's just overly fearful of catching COVID and is saying, what about these marginalized communities, to pretend that she isn't being selfish.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what they do. And this is what's also, like, I'm actually really glad he's bringing up this point. This is a great point, is that these people use marginalized groups that they are oftentimes not even a part of as kind of leverage in order for them to push their worldview, in order for them to make people do what they want, basically.
Calling everybody murdering eugenicists if they don't cater to what you want
is a bit much, right?
Anyway, for those of you who didn't see the prior videos, this pink-haired person is Courtney, who is a 28-year-old asexual autistic person with low support needs who also has...
I said they were a fucking millennial, didn't I? I knew it.
ADHD. Did I get all those tags perfectly correct? I wouldn't want to be called a bigot.
Oh my gosh, I had an autistic meltdown this weekend and went nonverbal. Actually, that would be a verbal shutdown. Huh? Because being non-speaking or non-verbal is the permanent state of using words and other forms besides voice. You don't experience that, and you don't have to co-opt someone else's language to describe that experience.
Right,
these are people that have no problems in their life. Literally no problems at all. I can't stand her. These are the people, by the way, that get into positions of power at HR and other types of moderation places in society, and then they want to tell you how to live.
Soul is the person who made the honest mistake and not the one who is meticulously correcting everyone. Anyway, basically all of Courtney's content is centered around what level of the victim tier you're on, and she seems to revel in collecting various diagnoses like autism and ADHD, so she can use that to claim that she is disabled and therefore oppressed, which really is just a personality trait that everyone finds annoying, because ultimately, the reason that they're playing the victim oppression game is to shield themselves from any criticism of their behavior.
That's exactly right. Yeah, anytime that you attack them, you're attacking their disability or their identity, and then you're a bad person.
Which brings us to a video that I made a little while back called Why the LGBT Movement is Failing.
Oh, no.
That included an entire 10 seconds of Courtney talking about some BS about being non-binary. And I basically responded with the same sentiment of this meme here, which is that...
What do you want? I want everybody to know that I'm offended by everything.
Once you see the bad haircut and the pink hair, you know this person's going to be annoying and offended by everything.
Yeah, they're just annoying and obnoxious. You also can't be, like, I mean, besides a medical... like abnormality, you can't be non-binary. Like, you're either a man or a woman. Like, that's just how it is. I mean, you can say that you're not, but saying that you're not doesn't make you not. It's common sense.
And I mean, was I wrong? Is the stereotype incorrect? Wow, is this what you look like without the pink anime character hair? Jeez, this is what 4 years of college will do to a person. Now, a normal person would see criticism like that and either ignore it or make a video response.
Oh, jeez.
But since Courtney has the maturity of a 7-year-old like Illymation, who also thought...
I mean, yeah, she does. She has the room of a 7-year-old, too.
People should not be allowed to criticize her. She decided to fight dirty and file a copyright strike on my video on her, to get it removed.
What?
I made this video here responding to that where I pointed out
Oh
that it's
my
ridiculous
God.
that she's striking my video over a 10-second clip. I said that she's...
So why am I not surprised? Yep, there you go. I have multiple disabilities and I never behave like this. I apologize for being hard to deal with instead. Listen, bro, like everybody knows that a bunch of attention-starved, bored, white liberal Karens that live in an upper middle class family are not responsible for every disabled person. We know they are an invasive species. They are. They're an invasive species. And nobody's blaming you. Nobody thinks you did anything wrong. You're not in the same group as them. And you know it. I know it. And everybody else knows it.
Engaging in copyright abuse to silence people she doesn't like.
Yep.
And I ended that
Ho's
video by
mad.
saying that I would be fighting the strike.
Ho's
now
mad.
we're all caught up to everything that's already been discussed on this channel. So to continue my point about my dislike of people who constantly play the victim card...
Isn't this building in Star Fox? In like the first level, you have to like shoot it right here. It's red and it breaks the building.
Allow me to use this next segment to point out how their demeanor completely shifts
that?
the minute they feel they have the opportunity to fight dirty and victimize the people they don't like. By the way, I love how much of this parallels the Illymation drama from last year where she tried to, multiple times, get me deplatformed because I made a video criticizing her. Anyway, getting to the part where she continues to fight dirty, after I released the dedicated video on her talking about her abusing the copyright system, Courtney went onto her Instagram and said this: on today's episode of Alt-Right Creators Doing What...
How is everybody that disagrees with you alt-right? Like, I mean, at a certain point, don't you realize that, like, maybe you're using this a bit too much?
What they do
Maybe it's a
best,
little bit too often, right?
You know what's really funny? These people are so obsessed with making sure that everyone labels them properly, yet anytime they are faced with people who have differing opinions, they mislabel them as alt-right or Nazis. I'm not alt-right. Alt-right is a bunch of white supremacists who want an ethno-state, and I have openly stated many times that I don't like racism or identity politics.
You should never even try to explain it to them, because explaining it to them gives their accusations credibility. It's a baseless, stupid accusation with a vague term that nobody even has a definitive definition of. It's just a person trying to demonize you and basically make you look bad. That's all.
So it's nice to see that Courtney believes she deserves a respect that she doesn't give to other people.
Of course.
Moving on. Think Before You Sleep posted a large anti-trans rant video.
Oh.
Stop again. It was not anti-trans. It was a video talking about how sociopathic the activists are and how...
Anytime that a trans person does something wrong, if you tell them that it's wrong, you're transphobic.
Even LGBT
Did you guys
people
know that?
don't like the activist. I mean, if I can't say that it's wrong for Lily Tino to dress like Miss Rachel and then advertise an OnlyFans account on the same page, then Courtney is basically saying that people can't criticize anything a gay person does or a trans person does.
That's exactly right. That's why they like to identify as those groups. Now you're starting to understand it. These people want to be able to behave with complete impunity and to do whatever and say whatever they want. And so what they do is they create identities for themselves that make them victims, so anybody who attacks them is now labeled as some sort of bad person. That's the reason why they do it.
Think Before You Sleep posted a large anti-trans rant video and got mad when I got it removed for copyright because it illegally used my content, and they still don't know how copyright works. They? Are you misgendering me, Courtney? I am not a they, them. And last, here's the best part. After complaining about cyberbullying, Courtney finishes by saying, if you could thumbs down, report, or leave a good comment for me, I would appreciate it as I'm being spammed by their alt-right followers right now.
I have no problem with people saying to downvote or to comment, but to tell people to report the video, that's a little bit much.
And then she leaves a link to my video in the post, followed by a screenshot showing that she watched an ad. Thanks, Courtney. I appreciate your financial support. I also appreciate how you're essentially crying about cyberbullying here as you tell your 200,000 Instagram followers to go mass flag
This is another thing that I really fucking hate about people like this, is that they constantly cry about being victims, but the moment that anybody criticizes them, they will collectively work to deplatform and destroy this person's entire online presence. They will, like, and that's one thing that I said the other day. Remember back whenever I was criticizing that girl, like the Counter-Strike thing, and then that other girl made a tweet. She's like, I can't believe he would say that. He shouldn't be able to do that. That's so wrong. Like, special interest disability? Yeah, I guess so, right? But, like, all I'm really trying to get at here is that they have no problem bullying and attacking other people, but they want to be the ones that have the decision-making capability to do it. That's really it. They play victim while bullying people? Yes, exactly.
Bomb and harass a creator who is defending himself against you abusing the copyright system on YouTube. How are you the victim? And keep in mind that the result...
Yeah, and also, like, don't you think that her fans are going to send this guy weird messages? Of course they are. And, like, bad messages, of course. That's what happens whenever you criticize anybody on the internet.
Of her post was that I received a shitload of negative comments from her followers.
Yeah,
really
of course.
Leading by example by showing that you think that bullying is wrong. Again, I love how this all parallels the Alienation drama, where she essentially did the same thing. She complains about being harassed while at the same time tells her followers to harass me, cries to Noah Sampson about it so he would
there it is. Yep.
Tell his followers to harass me, and says thank you to, and gives no pushback to a friend who said I should kill myself. And
there we go. What a surprise. See, this is one of the reasons why I talk about these issues, is that I hate these people. I really do. And I like to make videos about it and expose them because I know that it is the pushback that they are terrified of. And they've bullied enough people on the internet to never criticize or push back against them, but I'm just not one of them. I like pushing back against them, and to the extent that they get upset about it, it makes me happy. So that's fine. You want to be a victim? Okay. Sounds good to me.
Let me just mention that in both cases with Courtney and Alienation...
And keep in mind, they're the ones that are the bullies. They're the ones that are going out and trying to destroy people's livelihoods, get them fired from their jobs, make sure that, that you're spreading lies about them. These people have no problem doing any of that stuff. But the moment that anybody criticizes them, even legitimately, they cry that they're being oppressed. No. Nope.
I pretty explicitly told my followers to not comment on their video.
You push back from a much larger fan base, they get what they deserve. They do. And I enjoy being able to do it. And I'll do it as long as I can.
Or harass them or engage with them in any way. So, Courtney, level with me for a second. How is it okay for you to make multiple videos saying everyone who doesn't wear a mask everywhere in public is a bad person, followed by passive-aggressively wishing disability on those who refuse to mask? Like, it's
if that's not enough for you, may I remind you that repeat COVID infections are killing and permanently disabling healthy people too?
To criticize those people, but if I say I don't like pink hair, then you feel like you're morally justified in sending your audience to try to deplatform me.
Exactly, yes. These people don't, and this is what I've said before, people don't want to defund the police, they want to be the police. People don't want to they don't want to stop censorship, they want to be the censors. They don't want to stop racism. They want to be the ones in charge of who gets to be racist. And once you understand that all of the language is just in service of them maintaining a power structure for themselves, everything else makes sense.
I mean, holy shit, these people are ridiculous, especially considering people like Alienmation's good friend Noah Sampson, who's moved on to telling his followers to commit acts of terrorism. And wouldn't it be a damn shame if someone had an old deleted tweet from Alienation where she was encouraging terrorism in 2020? Wouldn't
protest, riot, do anything that you must to make them hear and make them listen. It's actually crazy that this is what makes me so mad about like people at the government right now, is that why are these people not getting investigated? Why is this not happening?
It's horrible. If someone pointed out that poor little Alienation, who was always a victim, was cheering for innocent people having the shit kicked out of them and their property being looted and destroyed. Wouldn't it be awful if someone had an archive of when Twitter likes were still public
Ooh.
and had a post that she liked with a bunch of buildings on fire saying no justice, no peace?
That's right.
No wonder her and Noah get along. Both of them love terrorism. But I digress. You see,
they love it until it happens to them.
What Courtney has done here with this Instagram post is not only violate YouTube's cyberbullying policy, but she also violated Google's terms of service.
Wow, what a surprise.
Anyway, as I said in the earlier video, I will be fighting Courtney's abuse of the copyright system. The way that works is that you file a counterclaim, and the person who filed the strike has 10 business days to prove to YouTube that they filed a lawsuit or the video goes back up. Since Courtney was insistent that I had broken the law, and because she said she talked to someone at YouTube...
This is actually a huge W, by the way, by this guy. I totally support him. There are people that misuse the copyright abuse system, and because of the way the law is written and the fact that it's so antiquated, like the law, DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act, was made in 1998, and we're still applying it to YouTube videos today. And I think that, I mean, there's obviously a huge problem with that intrinsically. But on top of that, you have people that are using this as a way to suppress criticism from each other should be universally disliked. And nobody should be supporting this at all.
They said it was copyright infringement. I hired a lawyer. Ethan Klein's lawyer, actually. And after I finished the initial consultation, I just started laughing. Just so everyone's up to speed, any creative work that you make, like a song or a YouTube video, is by law instantly copyrighted so that people can't resell it.
Yes, this was changed in the 1970s. Before that, it had to be patented, but in the 1970s, this was changed.
Claim it's theirs, unless they want to get sued. However, there's an exception to copyright called fair use, which says that you can use people's copyrighted works for the sake of things like parody, education, or commentary, provided that your use of the work doesn't act as a replacement for it, and provided that your input on whatever you used create some sort of transformative change that alters how people interpret it. This is what allows for doing things like a movie review and using clips from that movie without having to ask the company.
Exactly.
So I'm arguing that my use of Courtney's content is fair use.
It's obviously fair use. I mean, and she knows that, and she's not going to go to court with it. I mean, obviously.
Have to be held up in a court of law, but since I only use 10
and that's
seconds,
also another important component is that fair use is a legal defense. It's not a preemptive, kind of categorization. So in order to get a person to say that, no, it's okay for you to do that, it's fair use, you do have to have that decided by a court of law, which is what makes it so annoying.
And I gave commentary that argued against what she was saying. It's almost certain that it would be ruled as fair use. But that's not why I thought this whole thing was funny after talking to a lawyer. Now, I'm going to be brief on these specific reasons for why Courtney is screwed because I'm not trying to educate my opponent. That would be a stupid move.
Sure.
However, I will say that basically the reason
Bold of you to assume that she would be smart enough to watch a video that would help her situation. She's the kind of person that's so stupid. She's like a lot of the people that Ethan is suing. They think that they're on the right side of history, so they have some kind of plot armor that's going to prevent them from having any type of accountability.
Laughing is because the amount of damages that she's legally allowed to pursue for copyright infringement of that 10-second clip is almost nothing compared to how much it would cost to sue me. She would be putting a second mortgage on that pink house to afford it.
Jesus.
That's if she wins. However, if she loses, which is very likely, it would be incredibly easy for me to prove that her takedown was malicious, which means I can countersue for my lawyer fees, and that won't be cheap for her. So let me be very clear when I say that if somebody were to put me through a massive waste of time lawsuit like that and didn't have the liquid cash to pay for it, I would be brutal in trying to seize every single piece of property that they value until the fees were paid. I very much believe in the fuck around and find out policy. And if you want to get so pissy about someone criticizing your pink hair that you turn it into a legal battle, then I'll make sure that you understand why it's a stupid idea to file a lawsuit against somebody because your feelings got hurt. Because once you stop being emotional about this, you're going to realize how financially stupid this was for you. Now, as for what's happened...
No, she's not. Look at all of her plushies. She's professionally financially stupid.
So far, legally, I filed a counterclaim and she backed down. Probably because she doesn't have a lawyer or any actual understanding of how the law works, and she doesn't want to lose a lawsuit. Actually, just for laughs, let's go over how I know she doesn't have a lawyer. For starters, she said, a person at YouTube told me it was copyright infringement, instead of saying something like, my lawyer said it was copyright infringement. Not to mention that YouTube purposefully does not take
Actually, nope. 10 seconds of unedited footage with no overlays or edits does not qualify as fair use for unique video content. I worked in the creative space for years. I'm quite familiar with copyright laws. That's why a human rep at YouTube approved it. They're just mad that someone finally submitted a claim with their videos and it could easily be removed. Unedited footage.
Stance on these issues because they don't want to be held liable. So Courtney was probably talking to a secretary.
By the way, the video was edited. The aspect ratio was changed. The videos were recorded in landscape, and they were edited because this video is not in landscape. It's in 1080p. So, like, even on a technicality, she's wrong. Like, it's just, again, and this is, like, is it a bot or representative? Yeah, it's just stupid.
AI chatbot that she thought was a human. Now, let me further emphasize how stupid it is to not consult legal counsel for stuff like this. Because Courtney 100% does not know how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, something
which,
like that.
as the defendant,
Yeah,
personally, I love. So after she made that post telling everyone to mass flag my channel,
she's trying to sue
she made
people?
a YouTube community post talking about my video where people were happy to confirm that they were mass flagging my video that broke no rules, which again violates YouTube's community guidelines. Here's evidence of that. The great thing about this post is that it helps my case for fair use. Her calling me alt-right and transphobic is a public admission that our viewpoints are diametrically opposed. Thanks, Courtney. That'll make it much easier to argue in a court of law that my commentary is transformative and fair use. Because
it's critical. Yes.
I'm arguing a viewpoint that opposes yours.
Yes, that's one of the 4 pillars of fair use. If she knew anything about fair use, she would know that, and she would have never said that. It's actually crazy. You know, there's a reason why every lawyer tells you that whenever you're in the middle of a lawsuit that you're not supposed to talk about it. Have you ever noticed that? Like, while they always say that, this is the reason why they always say that.
The great part is that she deleted this post. Another indicator that she doesn't have a lawyer, because deleting evidence like that is called spoliation, and there are penalties for that in court.
True.
I mean, she'd have to be an idiot to think I didn't save it. Speaking of, Courtney had no...
He's got it. Yeah, why? It also, by the way, it is something that's looked upon very negatively. If you're found to be deleting evidence that could basically make you look bad, I mean, at that point, like, I mean, really, let's just go ahead and use a little bit of common sense here. Why would somebody want to delete evidence about themselves like that? Why would they want to do that? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're trying to hide the truth. That's why.
No problem running her mouth all over the comment section of that post, and it would be a damn shame if somebody read through every single public comment she made and archived them. I mean, she was super arrogant about how knowledgeable she is about copyright law and how she has some sort of connections at YouTube. I guess it didn't work that well because my video is back up. Here's a comment that says, they're weird as hell for getting upset over this. Even
Too bad, huh? Too bad. One's genius, the other one's insane. Judge has common sense too.
Yeah, everybody sees this. You have a right to not be in a video if you don't want to. There they go, misgendering me again. I'm not a they, them. And no, she doesn't have the right to not be criticized. Courtney is an influencer, and because she posts herself in the public square...
Yep, and we've got... And I proved their point to a real person at YouTube. It wasn't under fair use, and they agreed. And no, they didn't agree with you, Courtney. You moron. They have to agree with you. DMCA compels them to shoot first and ask questions later. It's not. That's not even what it is. That's not how it works. That's never how it's worked.
People are allowed to comment on her.
Imagine being Ethan's lawyer right now. I would be so happy. This is all you do is farm like these retarded Karens on the internet. And the only thing that's unfortunate is that I don't think that a lot of them have very much money. 2 big law cases? Yeah, exactly. And then, it's ableist and transphobic comments. Right. Well, Your Honor, if you look, so this comment said I was a dumb bitch. So I think that I should win the lawsuit and he should give me all the money. Yes, okay, that's nice. This is why Asmongold wanted to be a lawyer. Yeah.
If you don't want people commenting on you, then don't post stuff on the internet. Courtney responds by agreeing and saying that transphobic comments make a video not fair use? What?
This is your brain on victim mentality. That's your brain. That's how it works, guys. That's where you're at.
Did I read that right?
Yep.
Here's a comment where she's openly acknowledging that she told her followers to go harass me and how much she appreciates them doing that.
Oh,
and
sure.
last but not least, you could use this comment to argue that the reason that she struck the video is because of the criticism and not because any copyright infringement was...
Yep. The comment section was so unrelated to the serious issue. I saw they talked about your hair color, your gender identification, other stuff had nothing to do with anything. There were some hard comments to read, and that's what they do when they don't have an actual argument. Unfortunately, the original video was 100x that, and I have zero regrets getting it taken down if it stopped some of the hate for other folks on it. Should not have said that. You shouldn't have said that. Why would you say that? Even if you think it's true, you should know not to say it. That's what I think. Yes, main character syndrome. I know. We have an epidemic, and this is just going to get worse every year because more millennials are going to get into positions of power. We have an epidemic of main character syndrome millennials. And these are these androgynous, brain-dead, emotionally unstable blobs that are addicted to Pokemon, SSRIs, and anime who are trying to ruin the world. That's what we're up against, guys. That's it. And now, yes, and now Labubu's. And I understand I'm also a millennial. But I'm one of the good ones, okay? I at least I think so. These other people are fucking crazy. They're awful. Yeah, I'm one of the good ones.
Admitted. Let me just emphasize that we have a ton of evidence that Courtney filed that strike in bad faith.
Of course.
And just as a reminder, for those of you who haven't seen the video that she tried to silence that's called Why the LGBT Movement is Failing, note that video was primarily about predators like Lily Tino filming in the Disneyland bathrooms with children.
That's right. Yes, of course. Yes. And the transphobia is coming from, that's right, filming children and talking about getting, trans surgery in a public space with children in the background. Yes, that was the criticism. Why do you have such an obsession with going into women's bathrooms? I've been into a woman's bathroom before. It's the same as a man's bathroom, except they don't have urine. It's the exact same thing. They're not cleaner. It's the exact same thing. Sure, you have to clean it out. Yeah, sure. You guys ever done that? Of course.
Advertising OnlyFans on a page that features Miss Rachel parody content intended for kids, and going into restaurants trying to get people fired in an attempt to go viral on TikTok, as well as there being a crazy mom in that video giving her kid medicine that will permanently sterilize him at 13 years old.
Dr. Olson had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she
I understand that a lot of you guys really get frustrated because I'm not racist to other groups of people. It's because I can't be. But I can be racist to my group of people. Wow. It's the usual suspects. Every single time.
promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think. You're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Who's the
Oh my God.
bad person here? Courtney is literally defending child predators and saying, I'm the hateful one
insane.
because I spent 20 seconds in a video saying I don't like her pink hair and I think she's annoying. Everybody is tired of people like this. Everybody is tired of adults like this who behave like 5-year-olds wagging their fingers and telling everyone what to do.
Yes! I am sick of hearing what I need to do from a person who looks like they need to be in a padded room. If your personality is your mental disorders, I don't want to hear about what I need to change in my life from you. Holy shit.
You stop living the life you thought a proper adult should and start living for what brings your inner child joy.
So, when I was a younger guy, I always wanted to hold on to and remember the way I was whenever I was a kid, right? Like, I had a really great childhood growing up. Everything was really good for me. Like, I was so happy. Everything was great. And, you know, I tell people, Chibi, thanks for the 10 gifted subs, bro. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. And I did. And I had that happen a lot. And I kind of felt the same way that this girl did. And, like, I mean, obviously, I didn't do it, right? But, like, I mean, it's, you know, to an extent, right? And I think that whenever my mom died, I realized that you can't really ever actually go back. You can't, like, I'm a grown man now. I'm a grown man. I'm in my own life. And, you know, that was the old times. This is the new times. And, you know, she was then, I'm now. And that's it. And I think that the amount of coddling and and my dad, you know, was always, my dad is even, if you can believe, my dad, for however harsh I am, my dad's like 3 times as bad. So yeah, hate that feeling. You know, my dad passed. Yeah. And I think that really it was a reality check for me. It was. And I feel bad for these people in a way, but the issue that I have is that they're looking for something and they're never going to find it because it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. Everything about it is gone. And you keep trying to hold on to this world, and you keep trying to, like, you know, it's like you're holding it so hard, and it's just, yeah, time has passed. And it was a very weird thing for me because I used to be such a sentimental and nostalgic person, and I still am in a lot of ways. But a big part of me changed after that happened, and a couple of other, you know, like big personal events happened in my life. And I stopped constantly reminiscing on being 17 years old, because for a long time I was like, okay, and I still believe this. I believe I was born rich. You know, I had 2 parents that loved me. I lived in a nice house, and, you know, I was surrounded by my friends. We didn't have millions of dollars, but, you know, I'd trade millions of dollars to have what I had then again. But I can't do that. I can't have that happen. And so instead of what these people need to do, and I can, this is a criticism you can leverage at me too, is that instead of trying to recreate your own childhood, why don't you try to have kids and recreate theirs and create theirs for the first time and give them the opportunity to be happy the way that you were? Like, that's the way you're, like, that's the circle of life, right? That's what you're supposed to do. It's the same as I said before. Like, whenever I was a kid, a young guy, I was getting food stamps. I was on food stamps. And I was jacking off to fucking bullshit on the internet, like different random shit, and playing video games. That's what I was doing. That's my job. I was getting paid to sit around and do fucking nothing, right? Furry porn? Well, I was going to make a joke about it, but I decided that might be a weird joke, right? Especially with, like, kind of some of the weird stuff that's happened recently. So, like, no jokes about that. But the point is that, you know, and now I'm an adult. I'm making good money. Things are good for me. I'm paying it forward to the next generation of do-nothing neats, because one of them might actually do something in the future that might make money for the next generation of do-nothing neats. And so, really, I mean, I that's what's so sad about this, is it's the subversion and the mutation of what's supposed to be the human experience. So instead of trying to recreate and give the childhood that you loved and made you so happy to your children, you're trying to relive it for yourself. There's something that's spiritually wrong about that. And I understand that, you know, I don't have any kids, right? So, like, I'm also not trying to do this either. It's something it's really wrong. Am I crazy? Like maybe I just this just came out of me, right? But I just saw the picture and it made me think about it. It really did. You're not crazy? Yeah, exactly. It's trying to live forever? Yeah, and there's a certain amount of selfishness to it, I think. There is. The center of their own universe, exactly. There's something spiritually wrong about this. I don't say that very often.
Child joy.
This is what I mean. Everyone
this is what a proper adult can look like too. Bright hair, colorful clothes, tattoos, plushies, and all. Great. You want to dress like Dora the Explorer? Go ahead. I don't give a fuck. There's no right or wrong way to be an adult. Of course there is. There's tons of wrong ways to be an adult. There's tons of right ways to be an adult. Absolutely. What are we talking about? Like, yeah, absolutely you are. Plus, life is way too dang short to live it for someone else's narrow ideals. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, I think that there's something wrong with it. Yes. There's this kind of stuff to make you believe in biblical good and evil. There's nothing. These people are pure evil. They're not pure evil. They are. I think that they have taken permissive liberalism to its logical conclusion, which is I should be able to do whatever I want. I shouldn't have to conform to any social ideals. Everything in the entire world is completely about me, and I am the victim. I'm the main character. I'm going to be selfish with everything, and even to the detriment of other people that care about me. That's it.
To me, because I'm a child. I'm afraid of COVID, so here's this drawing I made to call you a piece of shit for not wearing a mask. You know, if you're a 28-year-old who has Peter Pan syndrome and want to play with children's toys...
Rating my fidget toys.
Eat the diet of a kindergartner, and live inside of your obnoxiously...
Wait, what does it say? Exclusively eats junk food and calls it safe food. I can see why you have stomach problems. Don't listen to any of that. It's not true at all. Safe foods. I'm always curious what other people's are.
And live inside of your obnoxiously pink house that I'm...
So that's why there's so much decor still in the front. Oh my God. And you can see that, and this is, I think this is what's so sad, man, is that you have the Christmas stockings up all year. Isn't it sad? It's sad, man.
I'm sure your husband is only pretending to like because he's afraid of you. Then go ahead.
Husband.
It's America. Live how you want to live in private. But the minute you start bringing your childish bullshit around me is the minute that I start caring.
People have the right to have an opinion.
The minute you start pretending to be a victim as an excuse to treat people like shit is the minute I have a problem.
And that's not even considering the larger community of all disabled folks who also experience chronic stress and dysregulation from unmet accessibility needs and living in disabled bodies in a disability-hostile world.
Right. We live in a disability-hostile world where we have a ton of accommodations and legislation to help disabled people, as well as economic support.
This is the most this is the most friendly the world has ever been to disabled people. They used to throw them off a cliff. I don't think we really do that too much anymore, right? We don't really do that hardly at all. So I feel like things have gotten a lot better. Like, what are the ramps for?
People who are unable to work. I mean, this chick should check out World War II Germany if she wants to see a government that's hostile towards disabled people. But ultimately...
Oh, God. And what I find to be so funny about this is that this is actually invoking, like, Nazi Germany in a way that's accurate. And anybody who's educated in this knows that.
This line of messaging is not helpful to the people that she claims to be advocating for, which is typical of activism. And I get tired of people who have made it their life's mission to infect others with a philosophy that turns them into useless victims.
And as someone who's black myself and has observed a lot of the mindsets that permeate within the black community, I think the one thing that's holding a lot of us back is the victimhood mentality. I've never been a fan of any group of people looking at me and saying, poor you because of this and that.
Right. This victim mindset is...
No, he's completely right. I mean, the way that you empower minorities and groups of people like that to succeed is you give them the same opportunities that other people have. That's why I've always been in favor of, like affirmative action based off of income. Like, it's the same thing. I mean, like, and if it disproportionately helps minorities, something isn't good or bad based off of who it helps. Something is good or bad objectively. And if you're looking at, oh, well, the wrong people are getting points against them for this, or the right people are winning because of this, and that's wrong, you're not thinking about the issue. You're thinking about your agenda.
It's rampant in a lot of communities. And it's not helpful to anyone because it just demoralizes them into achieving far less than their potential.
Sure does.
Usually that results in them demanding stuff from everyone that they could have just gotten for themselves. What's worse in Courtney's case, though, is that not only will she tell disabled people to avoid assimilating into normal society as much as they're able to, but also she'll tell them to self-diagnose mental disabilities.
Oh, no, what is this? By the way, how do you have the money to live like this? Really? I mean, like, what the fuck is this? Pure diagnosis or being validated by another autistic person is very accurate, and that's what I recommend for those people seeking validation outside of healthcare. What is this? So it's like the N-word pass, but for autistic people? Oh, no, I can say it. No. Crazy Ted gave me the pass. This is so fucking stupid. And these are the same people, hey, by the way, the same people probably spamming, trust the science.
Abilities, which is just the worst health advice. And apparently, this is an entire trend on TikTok.
What is this? Let me go back and read this here. Healthcare access is not universal and systematic inequality is. It is universal to get a lot of healthcare access. If you don't think so, then go to the emergency room and see if they're going to treat you or not. Yeah, just go there. I mean, you do get healthcare access. You can be an illegal alien and they're going to treat you. That's just the way it is. Bye, friends. As I said, bro, this is like my last boss. You know, like, this is whenever I imagine, like, what are you doing it for? To be against this. Yeah, this is the last boss. The final Karen. You spend your time talking about Karens, lunatics, murderers, humans, saying what everyone else is able to afraid to admit. You're sharing the darkness might change you the same way it did Stark. So if you stare into the abyss long enough, you're worried it'll stare back into you. No, I'm not. I've already been in the abyss. I've been in the abyss my whole life. Maybe that's a little bit, that's like a quote probably that you could get from like Illidan Stormrage or Light Yagami. But like, really, I mean, I've always been an asshole. I'm not worried about turning into an asshole because I already was.
TikTok.
We've seen the rise of self-diagnosed mental illness. The term neurodivergent went mainstream, which mostly referred to autism and ADHD, and it gained traction on platforms like TikTok where users self-diagnosed.
I actually think that the term neurodivergent is a very good term, and I like the term because autism is only one type of disorder, and I think that people classify any type of antisocial behavior as autism when actually there's a huge umbrella of other behaviors like that. Like the actual term neurodivergent, I think is a very, very good term. I like the term.
Demanded accommodations for these conditions, like
bring back retard. I mean, I mean, again, it's called us retards. I call people that too. I mean, that's fine. I don't really use, the thing is to me, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Generally, I don't really use autistic or Asperger's ever as an insult. I very rarely use, I guess I call people schizos sometimes. But like in general, like I generally, and this is not always, because as I said, I am an asshole. I generally avoid using medical distinctions as insults. I do.
Workplace flexibility, using their conditions as an excuse to shrug off adulthood and evade responsibility in so many cases.
Yep.
People started collecting labels like they were personality.
Neurodivergents notice everything. I mean everything. Did you notice that you're an attention seeker? Is that it?
Points, non-binary, disabled, neurodivergent, polyamorous, and became offended if others didn't properly adhere to them.
Right. Taking pride in how mentally ill you are is the smart thing to do instead of getting accurate diagnoses and professional help.
Yeah.
All TikTok is doing in this respect is making people friendless and unlikable without giving them any perspective as to why people outside of the internet don't want to be around them.
You seemed really standoffish at first.
Gee, why would people see you like that?
Nobody likes you. Why does nobody like me? Wait a minute. My whole life, I've been having negative interactions with everybody that I meet. I've found the solution. It's a disorder that I can't control, and everybody else in the whole world is out to get me. Obviously. That must be it, right, guys?
Well, maybe it's because half of your videos are you telling people why they can't live how they want because it offends you, followed by using being slightly autistic or non-binary as a shield against criticism. Like, it's funny how you have perpetual victims like Courtney, but then you have people like Ricky Berwick, who doesn't give a shit and can eloquently say things like, I'm Canadian.
Oh, jeez.
And you retard. It's weird how basically everyone I've known who has a disability in real life doesn't feel the need to make it their entire personality and really
No, I think that we're going to be in for a very, very interesting time when you get these guys that are quadriplegic and they've been like fucking totally paralyzed. They can only like move their tongue or something. And you finally get them a neural link and you can they can actually like express themselves for the first time. Because imagine having to sit back and just observe and watch the movie of your life play out for 20 years, 30 years, and you haven't been able to give any fucking commentary on it. I bet, they're going to pop off. But one guy, like, as I said, I think there was like one guy, and he was like going around, and they gave him this voice thing, and he's just going around Walmart, and he's saying that my mother has a palm over and over. And then another guy they gave one of those fucking brain implants for. Well, what did he do? He stayed up all night playing Civilization 7 or Civ 6. Yeah, we are in for a very, very based awakening. You get some good content? Yeah, exactly.
Just wants to be treated as if they weren't disabled. But then you have people like Courtney who are out here ordering everyone around, calling people evil eugenicists for not complying with her demands. People like Courtney are doing a disservice to everyone who needs help or accommodations to survive.
They do.
Fireworks suck because they scare...
Fireworks suck because they scare autistic people? Oh, like a dog. Jesus. It's like she lives in a set of Blue's Clues.
Autistic and neurodivergent people too. 4th of July is a racist holiday that only celebrates the freedom.
I thought that those were her friends, but I should have known better. They were just different recordings of her talking to herself.
Of a select few.
Okay, not only do we have to wear a mask everywhere, but now fireworks are bad because they offend autistic people?
And
the 4th of July is racist?
Right.
I have to mask every day, but you can't wear earplugs for a few hours once a year? You see what I mean?
I love this video. That is so good. You want everybody to wear masks around 24/7 when they go out in public, but they can't set off fireworks, and you can't wear earplugs for a couple hours a year. I mean, does anything display the obvious fucking self-righteousness better than that?
literally doing everything in her power to make everyone hate autistic people. And all irony is completely lost on her.
My identity is not your Halloween costume. Well, why would I want to dress up like a retard?
She is a Korean who complains about bullshit like Halloween culture.
Also, wait. This is an anime. This is from an anime. It's called Psyche. This is the person that had that. No, wait a minute. Yeah, I know. Wait, I know this. That's the person wasn't autistic. You think they were autistic? No, they weren't. How do you know? Because I saw it. How the fuck do you think I know?
Appropriation, as she dresses like an anime character from Japan. So everyone's done with this. Elon bought Twitter and stopped banning people for criticizing these professional victims. And because of that, all of the other social media sites had to stop doing that to compete.
Exactly. Yes. Nobody wants these people around. They're the most obnoxious, annoying, negative, net negative people in the entire society. Everybody hates them. Nobody likes them. Not even themselves. All they want to do is, like, they hate the way they look. That's why they constantly change their appearance. They hate the fact that they're older. That's why they constantly try to live like a child. They hate everything about themselves and their own existence, but we're somehow supposed to listen to them and accommodate everything that they want. It's outrageous. It's outrageous, and I think that, again, he's right. Elon buying Twitter, that was the fucking flashpoint. That was the point where people said, finally, I don't have to play pretend with this bullshit anymore. Thank God.
Courtney, maybe it's time to learn how to ignore criticism that you don't like or respond to it in the Coliseum of ideas instead of using the typical radical leftist below-the-belt cancel culture tactics. Because those don't work anymore.
That's right.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
I had no idea that this video was going to be this based. I genuinely did not even, I could not have even comprehended this. Oh my God. Let me link you guys a video. This was so good. Think before you sleep. This guy almost has 1 million subscribers. Make sure to give him a sub. Maybe we'll get him a little bit closer. All autistic people really want is for people that have basic understanding and empathy for their needs. Every autistic person is not the same. Autism is a huge spectrum. You have people that are non-verbal autism, and you have other people that are autism because they get hyper-fixated on things. So just using autism as a broad term is, I think, not really very accurate. The fact is that, you know, this is the way that I treat everybody. I try to be respectful and nice to people, and I expect them to do the same thing to me. And I don't like to have people tell me what to do or push me around. That's it. And I think that's really fundamentally, at the end of the day, that is one of the things that people like this are pushing back against so much. They are so fucking tired of being told what to do. This is... Oh, man, I'm going to have to watch this. Not right now, but we're watching that later. And yes, I am amazed. 287 dislikes. Well, yeah, because like these nobody likes these people. As I said, they hate themselves. These people are like poisonous flowers. They have bright colors to warn of their danger. At this point, I got everything fatigue. If you're not masking, I'm not going to be around you. Really? Was it that easy? If you wear a mask, more power to you, but you can't tell people to wear something just to make your life easier. I think that, again, if you want to wear a mask, yeah, that's totally fine. And that's the other problem. They always want to tell everybody else what to do. And that's what I think is so annoying. Give me a second. And yeah, I don't have PoE2 fatigue yet. Yeah, neither do I, actually. Fun fact. But why do these retards have 200K followers? It's concerning. You are worried that 200,000 people out of 7 or 8 billion people are retarded? You're really worried about that? I'm not worried about that. I think that's fine.